The Alaska Volcano Observatory staff spend much of the warmer months maintaining AVO's network of volcano monitoring stations. But because most of Alaska's volcanoes are so remote, many people never have the chance to see one of these stations for themselves. Let's take a tour today of station EDNW at Mount Edgecumbe. From Sitka, it's about a 10-minute helicopter ride across Sitka Sound to Edgecumbe. Using helicopters is critical to access remote areas and transport heavy materials. This is station EDNW. It's located about 1 mile northwest of Edgecumbe Summit in a boggy clearing. There are 3 other network sites at Edgecumbe, and they're arranged in a rough diamond pattern surrounding the volcano. This provides the best coverage for pinpointing the location of volcanic earthquakes beneath Edgecumbe. First, let's talk about what scientific instruments are here at EDNW.
We're here at EDNW. This station has 2 different sensors. It has a borehole seismometer in the ground behind me, and it has a GNSS monument here behind the hut. We're here today to replace the seismometer. This borehole seismometer is part of a network of seismometers here that measures earthquakes and other types of ground motion. This is a direct bury borehole seismometer, meaning we put it directly in the ground, and it goes about 1 meter down just to shield it from some of the wind noise and make sure that we're mostly picking up signals from earthquake activity. So here you can see the seismometer. I'm gonna put it down here at my feet underground. I'm gonna orient it to north, and I'm gonna level it, and then we'll test it before we bury it. Okay, here we have a geodetic monument. This is a GPS, GNSS antenna here, and that detects signals from the geodetic satellites. And then it's used to determine very precisely the location of this point. And so if the ground moves up and down in response to anything, we'll see that as a change in the time series. The antenna is connected by a cable that's buried here underground and over to the hut to the GPS receiver. In addition to the scientific sensors, there's some other really critical pieces of equipment that we need to run a station. So the first thing is kind of the infrastructure. That's the hut itself, the enclosure for all the equipment. Next is the power system. So we have a solar power system at about 98% of our stations. And then a way of getting the data back from the field. So in this case, we have a wireless radio link that goes from this station to a repeater up on top of the ridge, and then back down to another site on the other side of Edgecumbe where there is a cell modem. Here we have the solar panels. These provide all the power for the seismic equipment, the GPS equipment, and all of the supporting electronics. On this hut, they are mounted directly to the hut, but at many of our other stations, we have them mounted to a pipe frame that we call a swing set. We replace a lot of broken solar panels every year due to weather and bears. So here at our seismic site, this is our fiberglass hut that encloses all of our power system and electronics. It protects everything from the environment, from animals, from tampering, and we'll take a closer look inside. Okay, here inside our hut we have first all the batteries that are storing power for us through the winter and when there's not a lot of sunshine, short days. At this site we have about 28 batteries, and each of these is 100 amp hours. They weigh about 65 pounds, so not too bad to lug around, although there are many of them. Here on the wall we have the charge controllers. These regulate the power we're getting from the solar panels, charging the batteries, and then sending power out to our electronics box on the wall. Here on the wall we have our electronics box. That's giving everything one more layer of protection from moisture. If we open it up, we can see we have a bunch of different devices here. We have the power coming in here, a little power controller box that allows us to remotely turn things off and on. This here is the GPS receiver that logs data from the GPS antenna out beside the hut. Here is our 900 megahertz radio, and that is what is sending data out from this site to the repeater on top of Mount Edgecumbe. And then we just have some other devices here for Ethernet connectivity and sort of monitoring what's going on with the station power system. All right, here above the electronics box we have the seismic digitizer. That's where the seismometer cable comes in from the sensor we have buried underground outside. And then right up here we have the antenna for our radio telemetry.
That's all the equipment at this particular AVO monitoring site. Some of our other sites have additional equipment, including web cameras that take images of a volcano at regular intervals, infrasound instruments that record sound waves that are lower than humans can hear, and gas instruments that record whether any volcanic gases like sulfur dioxide or hydrogen sulfide are present. Some of our sites are also receive facilities, which means that they are there to collect data from many other remote stations and transmit it on to Anchorage and Fairbanks. These sites will have an internet connection of some kind. It's time to take our leave of station EDNW. We hope you enjoyed this tour of an AVO monitoring site.